In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 reasons why playing as a female character is much worse than Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, in case you think I'm being harsh to the female players out there, I'm not. This is a follow-up video to one I've done that is 5 reasons why playing as a female is better in Grand Theft Auto Online. So if you haven't checked that out, I'll actually leave that as the featured video at the end of this one, so you can check it out if you want. But anyways, let's not waste any more time and let's jump into this today. The first thing that makes playing Grand Theft Auto Online as a female a little bit worse is different hitboxes. So the hitboxes for the male characters and the female characters at the end of the day are the same, but because the female characters in Grand Theft Auto Online are shaped a little bit differently, you can basically aim around a female character without actually hitting them, but still get credit for the hit. So I know that's a little bit confusing. Basically, male and female hitboxes are the same, but what Rockstar have done, they've shaped the female characters a little bit differently, obviously, but they didn't shrink the hitboxes. They made them the same. So you'll notice that if you aim at a female character, if you aim in between their arms or between their legs, you'll actually find that even in the empty space, you'll still register hits on them, which I'm not sure if that's fair or unfair. I guess that means if you're aiming at a female character, you can technically not have to hit them directly on the body and you can still register a hit. So at the end of the day, I think it is fair that Rockstar made the hitboxes the same. It's just a little misleading that you might not necessarily think you're hitting a female character, but if you fire and it's a shot that it looks like it misses and it connects, well, now you know why. It's because the hitboxes are different but the same. It's really confusing. Number 2 today, weird clothing restrictions and lack of haircuts. So in my first video I did, 5 reasons why playing as a female character is better, I said that females had more options, or at least uniquer options at the clothing store and at the haircut place, like unique haircuts, makeup, clothing options that the guys just simply don't have, etc. But there's still a lot of restrictions. Now, one of the things that I know a lot of male characters wish they had was bigger beards. And what's actually funny is a Rockstar employee has actually come out and said the reason why something like this doesn't exist. And I feel like that's the exact reason, and this is the second point I'm getting to today, why females have a lack of really good haircuts, or at least ones that aren't long and I would say for the most part kind of normal. And number 2, why they don't have great clothing options. And this is something the After Hours update has sort of brought to my attention with a lot of the NPCs we see dancing around the nightclubs. They have really cool outfits, stuff like that. We don't have that in online. So this is what that Rockstar employee said. He said, "There'll be no huge beards, sadly. They clip with too many things, and the art team go into autismo rages when clipping gets involved." So that right there, that last point is the key, clipping. That's the reason females don't have really long, flowy hair or cool outfits with overlapping clothing and stuff like that. It's because clipping. That freaks Rockstar out, apparently. So that's why all the haircuts you see for females don't go below the shoulders, because they won't interact with any of the clothing options. And that's why they're sort of limited in terms of what they can do choosing at any of the clothing stores. But that's why you'll see some of the NPCs with these cool outfits, because they wear the same outfits and they can be default programmed onto them. Whereas our characters are constantly changing, thus Rockstar won't allow us to do stuff like that. So unfortunately, I think females get the shorter end of the stick here. Males, really the only thing they're missing out here is like beards and stuff like that, which at the end of the day is a big deal, but I think females get hit a little bit harder when trying to design their characters in online. Now, building off of that, and this is something I saw on the GTA forum site, apparently there are some items that female characters can't get. There's a user on the GTA forum site, We Are Ninja, that said there's a neck tattoo as well that female characters can't get. So since I don't have a female character that I play as, I wonder if there's more scenarios like this, where there's little things like a tattoo or an article of clothing that the females don't have access to that the males do. Now, I'd have to look into this a little bit more, but that's certainly pretty interesting. I wonder why. Would that be another example of clipping? Would it be like the haircuts getting in the way? That wouldn't make sense, though, because there are shorter haircuts that female characters can have. So I'm not sure what would be the cause or the reason for something like that, but but apparently that's another thing as well that the female characters have to deal with. Number 3, and this is something that I actually said was a good thing in my first video, but recently has not been so great, and that is a lack of unique cutscenes for the females. So in my first video, I showed you guys examples with Trevor and with Lamar, where he would have different reactions and unique interactions if your character was female. And it led to some really funny situations. Now, with the more recent updates like Doomsday Heist and After Hours, Gun Running, and Smuggler's Run, Rockstar haven't done that. They've just sort of generically put everyone into the same cutscene, and there's been plenty of opportunities to have unique differences when there really wasn't. So it looks like Rockstar did a much better job of this early on, and has stopped doing that in the recent DLCs, especially with After Hours. I think there was a ton of potential to do really cool scenarios for female cutscenes and male cutscenes, but they didn't take advantage of that. I mean, they put so much work into After Hours, you would have thought they would have at least done that, but it turns out that that's actually not the case, and that's something that has just kind of gotten stale over the last couple of updates. At the number 4 spot today, and that is harassment from other players. So this is one that's kind of difficult to measure like tangibly or objectively, but one of the things that I said in my earlier video that I said why it's better to play as a female is characters are more likely to be friendly to you. And especially what I've noticed recently is that always isn't necessarily the case. In fact, I've seen a lot of examples of players, especially who play as females. They don't necessarily have to be a girl. You can be a guy with a female character. You know, receiving messages like this that are just really creepy and weird and sort of cross the line. And I get harassment messages in Grand Theft Auto Online all the time. You know, people telling me I suck, how much they hate my videos. But I never get any weird messages of people trying to hit on me or want to become my girlfriend or something like that. And that's what I think people have to deal with when they have a female character. It's weird. Grand Theft Auto Online is not Tinder. Stop using it as your way to try and pick up girls or something like that. It's just weird behavior. You know, there are other outlets if that's what you're interested in, but stop doing that in Grand Theft Auto Online. These messages I'm seeing, you know, are becoming more and more prevalent. Just because someone has a female character doesn't mean they want to be your girlfriend. So that's definitely something that I think more female characters have to deal with than male characters. And at the number 5 spot today, weird interactions with ladies of the night and the dancers at the Vanilla Unicorn. So the dancers and the ladies of the night, they all stay the same. They're girls, even if your character is a female. So I guess the real downside here is Rockstar doesn't give you an option, whether you want female dancers or male dancers. So I guess this could apply to both if you're a male character or a female character, but I guess you would hear more complaints from someone playing as a female character, and I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but the actions definitely look a little bit weird when you have a female character picking up a lady of the night, let's just say that. So again, that comes down to your personal preference, but it is strange that Rockstar don't give you any options there. Now, the last 2 things I want to talk about aren't really necessarily things that make playing as a female worse. They're just different. The first is females have different actions. So not necessarily different actions per se, but the way they go about acting them out. So for example, if you were to do the peace sign action, a male character would do it differently than a female character. So again, that really isn't something that I think makes it worse. I think that it's just different or subjective. You might find one better than the other, but that is something you should play around with. If you have a male character and a female character, you should try all the different actions because some of them do them differently and are pretty cool and can lead to some, interesting snapmatic shots or poses that you can recreate. So that's kind of cool. Another thing that's different is the walking and jogging animation. Males and females have a different jogging animation, which I guess is pretty cool. Again, I guess that goes back to the same thing for the actions. Maybe they were just motion captured ever so slightly differently. So you'll notice that a male character will run differently than a female character. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Both of them run at the same speed. There's absolutely no difference. Like males aren't faster than females. Females aren't faster than males. It's just a little bit of a different animation. But anyways, that right there is 5 reasons why playing as a female character is much worse in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Do you have a female character? Have you experienced any of the things that I have mentioned in this video today? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.